It's approaching 1 p.m. on June 16th, 2015. This is Calvin Castine on the Beeman Road, which is just off Route 9 in the area of the town of Champlain offices. And we are in one very large building that is just newly opened. We're here for a ribbon cutting of sorts. A lot of dignitaries and a lot of the staff here at Country Malt, or North Country Malt. I think this is listed here. It's called North Country Malt, all part of Country Malt. One of the truly great success stories to come out of the North Country. The Bayshard family and what they have done here is just amazing. And hope to talk to some of them and get that ribbon cutting and learn more about this structure, what it'll be used for, and just how large it is. So we'll hopefully be chatting with a few folks today, and we'll learn more about this huge new facility here just off Route 9 in Champlain. Before we get to the actual ribbon cutting and start chatting with people, we thought we'd take a moment to step upstairs, get an overview of what's happening down there.
She had a better job than I did. I said, we're going to move up to Plattsburgh. Yeah, I got this business that's going to turn into something. And I remember driving up the highway, looking in the mirror, making sure she didn't get off the highway. All right, she's still with me. But we've grown. I think we all know we're 44% of the market share across North America. We're the biggest players in the game, and we intend to stay that way. So we expect this to double again. So Neil, don't put your shovels away. But we expect the market to get twice its size in the next 5 years as people continue to enjoy more and more craft beer. Again, this was not something that I did or Claude did. It's something we did as a team. We have a tremendous team of people here and all our other sites across North America. That is our business. Our business is made up of people, and I'm just lucky to be part of this group. Do you have anything to add, Dan?
Not a whole lot, Brian. What we prided ourselves was service. Trying to get it right first time, and that's our customer. And we keep customers. Don't want to upset them.
Someone else, right?
Exactly. They're not the only players.
So congratulations to all of you. This building is a testament to what we've done together, and very proud, like I said, to have this day come. Let's enjoy a nice beer. Cut the ribbon, and it feels good. It works first.
Okay.
mentioning that he was moving to Plattsburgh after he sold his first house. That's kind of where our friendship started. And I want to thank you for reaching out to me when you were contemplating this company growing, how it was going to grow, where it was going to grow. And I think that actually all started about 2.5 years ago now.
Yep.
So this has been a very, very long journey. Wanted to acknowledge, we've got a few people from our team here. Mark, if you wouldn't mind standing up, being the main guy here. A lot of you know that work here. Mark has been our on-site project manager and has literally just killed it. The guy has just put his blood, sweat, and tears into it. And a lot of people at the front end of this doubted Mark and his abilities, and you have proven all of them wrong. Thank you. Travis.
Right-hand man.
Travis and Ken Rabbit, who did all of our electrical work.
All right, everybody.
Mike Tetro with the town is here. And Mike has been, I've done development work in other municipalities around the area, and Mike has been, I found him to be a guy that is trying to find a solution. But every problem that meets, this guy has always been helpful in saying, this is what you got to do. Not holding us to some standard that is inappropriate, but a reasonable standard, and I want to thank you for that.
The supervisor being here, now you get a raise.
In the early days when we bought the land from Roswell back in, that was a few years ago, Ozzy, huh? Yeah. Happy to have him here. And I think it was just trees then, right? And Ward Lumber came in and cleared it out.
Yep.
But Mike was very good to work with at that time. And that's one of the reasons we're still in the township playing too.
Roswell, I want to thank you for selling us some of your extra surplus land and a lot of your material. Roswell put a lot of miles on his trucks, hauling material out and bringing a pile of material in. And I want to thank you and your whole crew, because you guys were awesome to work with. So thank you as well.
Thank you.
So probably more fitting if I had a craft beer to present. This is a finely crafted bottle of champagne I want to present to Brian and the entire Bayshard family. And my hope is that at your next family function, you all share the champagne and really acknowledge your family, all of your hard work, and you know what's here today. I want to thank you right here.
Thank you. Before, as we were thinking about it, I remember in the early days, Carl Smith helped us out quite a bit. I think we had a bunch of trailers that we were putting malt in. I think when we were getting bigger, we had malt in about 6 different places, not unlike what we've been dealing with over the last few years, just at a much smaller scale. We touched the bag 6 or 7 times, and in the early days, JP started bringing us our containers, one a month maybe for a while, and what are we, about 2 a month now?
2 a day.
Yeah. So thanks for coming, and enjoy the meal.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Okay, we were kind of blindsided right there. We're going to keep the camera on. We were heading over here because we were told they were going to do the ribbon cutting. Then they stopped, and it was quite a distance away from us, so our audio, I'm sure, was not all the greatest. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to each of those individuals again as this goes on. It's approaching 1:20 on this. There it is. Claude and Son. Cut the ribbon. Official ribbon cutting. Come on over here, Claude. We'll start with you guys.
Okay.
All right, get right in front of me here.
You want us over here?
All right, let me make sure you're in the picture. The camera is rolling, so be careful what you do. Yeah, be careful what you do. It's all. That's good. Okay. I'm sorry, our audio probably not going to be that good because I thought we were going to come over and cut the ribbon, and all of a sudden you started chatting over there.
Yeah.
but you had a lot to say. It all started because you retired, right?
I was retired at the time.
If you hadn't retired, we wouldn't be here right now.
I got through at Anchor Motor Freight. That company closed, and I worked a couple winters for Kyle, hauling fuel.
Carl Smith.
Yeah, and our oldest son, Brian's brother, is a home brewer, and he kept saying, "We don't have to start a malt business." So finally, that's what we did. Yeah.
That's Tom.
This is it. That's Tom.
Yep. And of course now you can't turn on the TV without seeing a malt, some kind of craft beer going
Craft
on.
beer
Exactly.
has grown dramatically, and I mean, Tom, great idea. He was developed in his family. I was lucky that I was just out of school and was running golf courses at that time. I was running a golf course here, but I was able to pursue this. And if it didn't turn out into too much, it didn't turn out into much, and we got to spend time together. That was our idea. If we can each make a couple $1,000 and enjoy spending some time together, that'd be great. But it obviously turned into something else, and we were very fortunate. Obviously, we timed things right. Some of that's luck, some of that's good planning, but the markets have grown dramatically, and we just want people to keep drinking craft beer, and we'll keep supplying the malt. So,
Okay, we've got, I'm not sure if I introduced you guys, Claude and son Brian Bayshard here. Now, I say Bayshard. I've heard people say Bayshore and Bayshore.
we like the way you say it.
Bayshore. Yeah.
There are even family members who say it different, aren't there?
That's right. That's right.
So, what year roughly was that?
September of 1995.
That's right.
You can probably tell me the exact day now.
Yeah,
It's
pretty close.
It was towards the end of the month. I don't remember the exact date.
Yep.
Yeah, we.
1995, so that's
1990.
it'll be 20 years ago this year.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's almost 20 years old.
We had was it 6 bags of malt, I think, and we had no customers, and we had a van payment, and I had bought a computer at Sam's Club, and we were in business.
We're in
so
business, yeah.
so it was time to now go sell some of this stuff. So. But through the years we saw ourselves as needing to have our own exclusive rights over products, grow brand loyalty, bundle that with hops and all the other stuff that a brewer will need, and that's the basis of our model and how we grew our business. So.
And it was that fateful day that you mentioned up there when you had to mortgage the.
Oh yeah, when Mom was willing
Mortgage the
to.
homestead.
I asked Dad, how'd that go?
Not that good.
It went good enough that you're here right now.
That's right.
She was ready for a meeting at the village. She was
She was on her way-
administrator.
she was on her way to
She
the
was
meeting.
there. So I said, Beth, we need to buy malt. We need to use that line of credit. The bank had given us that. And we didn't apply for that. We just had it. So I said, we might as well use that. We need malt. We can't sell it if we don't have it.
Yep.
I thought we weren't going to do that. Well, we did it.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
right.
It is.
Okay, so malt is what you use in craft beer. Is this all malt throughout all your?
Pretty much
this is all
everything
malt.
is malt in here. We have hops in the front cooler as well, and then there's other ancillary items that they'll need, like cleaning products and filter sheets. And our goal is to be a one-stop grocery store for them for all their ingredients. But the main product in the beer, other than water, is malt. And a brewer, right down from Anheuser-Busch to the smallest guy on a one-barrel system, is going to use different types of malt. We've got about 170 different types for them to pick from, so there's no beer in the world that they can't make, or beer style, with something we have to offer them.
So this is a huge new building you put on here. How big is it? Do you know?
100,000 feet.
100,000 feet. I know.
Yep.
In talking with Neil Fassett when I first arrived, he said he was naming off, and it's probably less than half dozen buildings in Clinton County that are bigger than this building here is.
I think that's right. Yep.
You know, so this is one huge facility here, and it's just part of what you've got here.
That's right.
This
Right.
is the fourth
We've
building.
got yes.
This is the fourth one. Mhm.
Yep. We've got another, 33,000 feet too up front, and it was funny as we grew, and we kept saying, okay, now we got to add on, but we were risk aversion. We didn't want to add on too much, so every time we moved into a new building, it was already too small. So this one should be built for growth. That we expect to see continue in that market. So.
Now, are all your customers the a small craft beer, or do you have?
No,
the
we
major-
sell right
major-
up to
major-
Miller Coors and down to the smallest guy. Our goal is to try to provide them a good solution, a good value proposition between all our product mix and landed costs to try to manage the freight to their door. We've got 9 warehouses across the U.S. and Canada to try to achieve that. So, and between our brands and the loyalty that we develop with those brands, we think well, it's proving to be pretty successful models. So.
So when people are sitting there having a Coors Light, they're supporting you.
They're supporting our parent company. Yep, that's right.
Okay.
We'd prefer them to have an IPA, though.
IPA,
Right.
which is
There's so many.
which is an IPA?
Indian
IPA?
Pale Ale. It's a highly hopped beer
More
with more malt, too, to balance the hops. So those are win-win situations for us.
okay. Now hops and the malt. Does any of that stuff come from North America?
Yes, there's quite a bit of malt here. Our sister company, Great Western Malting, and Canada Malting. Canada Malting is a plant right in Montreal, which quite a bit comes down through. Thunder Bay, Ontario, and Calgary, Alberta. We also have plants in Pocatello, Idaho, and Vancouver, Washington, and that's all part of Great Western. We also sell for Breeze, another competing malt company, but we do their distribution for them. And most of the hops, especially the aroma hops, the aromatic hops that you could smell when you drink the beer, those are coming out of Yakima, Washington, the high valley or the high desert in Washington, and I think that's probably 35% of the world's hops are coming out of that area. So there is quite a bit coming out of North America.
Now, years ago, they used to grow hops around.
Hops
this area,
used to
huh?
be, before in the Finger Lakes, before much of the wine, that was all hop country.
Tom grew a few.
Tom still does.
Still does it, yeah.
Well, you're seeing a lot pop up around the area as the market develops. People see opportunities and they're growing more hops, and we'll be working on growing some barley for New York State brewers around here too. So we should start seeing those fields pop up in the not too distant futures.
All right, you said you're going to be looking at growing what are
Barley.
you going to be doing?
We're going to be selling it for them and
Okay, so
working
you're
with the growers. Yep, working with the growers
encouraging
with our expertise forward contracts to assure they can have a home for it at a sustainable price. And then New York State's changing regulations to require brewers farm brewery licenses to use a certain amount of New York State agriculture in their beer. So we'll be part of that as well. So.
Now, is most of this you've got here? I know you've got warehouses. I think
I would say,
in California,
yeah.
North Carolina, I believe.
Yep.
So is most of this what we see here, New York, New England distribution?
Yes, for the most part. This will go here, New England, down to Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, and to back up. Also, presently we're servicing Quebec, Ontario, and the Maritimes out of here too. But we're looking to change that as it gets bigger and bigger. We need to put a warehouse in that market. So that's next.
That's next.
No, this was your vision originally, right? When you talked to Tom, this was what you said was going to happen, right?
Well,
yeah, no doubt.
we never imagined it would
Don't
do
wander too
this.
far, Brian.
But it did take off like crazy, especially after Brian came on full time. He just took it to the next level, and
When we talk a lot about it, I said, Dad built the foundation of the house, and I put the building on it. So if he didn't do what he did, I never would have been able to do what I did. So.
Yes, but you've got a foundation like this, and the house is
Yeah, that's right.
really a mushroom.
It's been a lot of fun, to be
It
honest.
has been.
Now, there's got to be other moments besides that one where you
Bev
talked
almost had a heart
you've
attack, right?
where you've said, "Do we take this next step?"
Well, I know back in 2006, 2007, that's when we joined Grain Corp Malt. Claude and I sold our interest at that time, and they asked us to build the model across North America. It was right during the subprime issues, and we kept going back to the bank, because we were growing and growing and growing, and it got a little scary at that time. I had children. Claude was getting ready to go play golf a little more often. So we thought it was the right time, because one of those times, if the bank said no, we could have crumbled by our growth. But we're very happy to be part of Grain Corp. It's been a very good journey, and it's allowed us to take what we built here across North America, because we never would have been able to do that on our own.
It's like nothing happened. We're still here. Yeah. So it's been good for us.
Now, I know you go to Florida and you camp all summer long. Do you actually work at all, or what?
He stays involved, no question.
Yeah, part-time.
He goes to the trade shows.
Trade shows. I go to Vancouver, Washington once in a while. Did a seminar there last summer.
Visits
how
customers.
It started. I like to visit customers. That's fun.
I think a lot of customers just love to see him, because back in the day, I mean, he was the guy they were talking to on the phone, and also the guy delivering the malt, and so it developed quite a relationship there. And there's not a week goes by that some customer doesn't ask me about him, how he's doing, and but that's because of those relationships he's built, and the value that he added to these guys. It meant something to him. So.
But like Brian said earlier, there was some luck, but
Well, obviously.
one of the things, we didn't make that many mistakes.
Yep.
Right, Brian?
If we made a bunch of mistakes at the start,
we
we would
did.
have crumbled.
We'd be here.
We had to give the customer a reason
We didn't
to
make a
want
lot
to
of
stay with
mistakes.
us.
That saved us.
It's
I can't think of a single one.
That's right. Me either.
That's not very many.
Not too many today, anyway.
But it's just a great success story. Coming out of a little
Thank you.
garage, or just part of a
storage
garage.
sheds, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
storage shed. And,
Yep.
Kept our lawnmower in there. Took everything out, cleaned it right to the walls, and moved it over to my mother-in-law's garage on Pratt Street. That's where it all ended up for that first winter.
Yep.
And it started, took off.
That's incredible. Now, Brian, your schedule must be hectic. Are you able to sit down for 2 weeks in a row at home, or?
Yeah, I'm actually home for 2 weeks in a row. Then I'm back on the road again. But it's fun. I have good family support who knows what I'm trying to do and supportive of it. But it is tough at times. You do travel quite a bit, but it's still fun. Building this business, and it's got a long way to go still. So I enjoy that. So the travel is worth it from the reward you get from it. So.
Okay, we'll try to chat with a few more people, including Neil and maybe Mark. Anything else you guys think we should be?
No,
not really.
No, I think we covered it pretty well.
On our way home from Florida, Bev and I went up through Asheville, and that's the last warehouse that we opened there, and visited the guys. One of our guys went from here to open that up, and he's doing a great job.
Steve
And
Meade.
and he services the southeast Florida, Georgia, and it's just taking off in that area like crazy. He is shipping a lot of malt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 years ago when we started there, before we used a third party, we've done it ourselves because you have better control. But before then, if we were shipping, 2 orders a day would be good. Now it's considerably more than that. So.
Yeah. Ships a lot of malt every day. He's doing a great job.
Yep. We're lucky to have him.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Cal.
And we're going to continue with this. Don't forget your ribbon here. You want to keep that for a souvenir. That's right. So we appreciate them taking time to chat with us here. We're going to try to find another person or two to talk to here and learn more about the construction of this facility and maybe a little more about the business. So don't go away. Okay, first I'm going to get myself in trouble here. I'm going to guess big sister.
Yep,
Brian.
exactly. That's right.
If you'd been the younger sister, you'd be hitting me right now. Robin, what's your function in all this?
Well, I started with my brother in his office in 8x10. The two of us, and I'd work 4 hours with him in the office doing sales and paperwork, and then I'd do 4 hours on the floor with our one warehouse employee. Do most of the parcel. I would do most of but I'd help with the milling and tug on the bags, and then gradually moved into sales altogether. And then a year ago, I moved into transportation and logistics, so I do all the transportation for all of North America. now.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Yep. I negotiate with all the vendors, negotiate all the pallet pricing for our delivered price to our customers. It's every day. It's a different job every day, and I enjoy it a lot. I'm very fickle and come to work every day, and I enjoy what I do every day.
Every day? You
Every day, I do. I have
Not
no
everybody
issue
can say
getting
that.
up. It's 12 years, 13 years now. I get up in the morning and have no issue coming to work. I enjoy it.
So were you the second employee, or were
First.
You were the first one? So
First
the guy in the warehouse
employee.
came in after you?
Yes. Yep. First employee. Yep. And for a while, my oldest son worked here too. So we had 3 generations in the warehouse. And he moved on to the state, but yeah, it was the whole goal. Well, I don't think we had this in mind, but the whole goal was to have the entire family work here, or our children and their children, and but it grew and grew and grew, and
There's certainly enough opportunity.
yes, there is. Who would ever thought it? I mean, it's amazing.
It's got to be scary at times too. I was talking to Brian and your father, and there are times they're wondering, should we do this or not?
Exactly. When we first added on to the original warehouse, it was, are we doing the right thing? And at that time, we were still independent. So it was mom and dad's home, second mortgage, and Brian's home, second mortgage, and his wife supported him while he did this. And it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Are we going to make it? Should we back out? Should we sell? And they had steadfast, and it worked out well. It worked out real well.
Well, your father said just moments ago here on tape here that so far every decision they've made has pretty much worked out in the positive. They haven't
It was very
gone
fortunate.
down too many blind alleys.
Exactly. Yeah, the decisions they made were the right ones at the time, and it panned out perfectly. Yeah, they haven't made many wrong turns in the path they've taken. Yeah.
Have you ever gone out on a limb and said, don't do that, then found yourself wrong after, or do you?
There's a few times where my brother would ask my advice, and I told him one time, don't do that, you're going to cause me to have a nervous breakdown. He did it anyway, and it was small things, but he'd come back 6 months later and I'd say, I told you so. But we're very fortunate, we're a very close family to be able to work together, grow together, and still be able to talk to each other on the weekends after work.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out.
No,
that way.
sometimes it doesn't, but we're very, very fortunate, and we're blessed actually to the endeavor to turn out the way it did, and to see it flourish. And my father's got to be very proud.
Oh, yeah. And your brother Tom.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
Even though
He's
he's
the
not
basement
part of it,
brewer.
but
No, it's
he's,
all
if
part
you
of
didn't
it.
drink beer.
Exactly.
Get your kids to start drinking beer, and this could happen to you.
Really, not till they're old enough.
Yeah, he was old enough.
But
he had a
it was his idea, and
was all grown
there's
up.
a piece of every one of us in this building somewhere, or somehow, and it's we're truly blessed how it all turned out.
Okay, is there anything else, Robin?
I don't think so.
I took you away from your second helping.
That's
over
okay. Maybe now I don't need it, right?
there. It was salad. I want to point out.
It was salad, folks.
That's right. She was having more salad.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you, Robin.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to find out more about this brand new facility and the whole operation here as our story continues. They said it couldn't be done, but we got her. Bev, one of 2 Bev Baychards that I know.
3.
3? Well,
We all have the-
I only know 2. Do I know a third one? I know
Eddie
Ed-
Bayshard's right,
Yeah.
and Conrad and Shazy and me. And we
Okay.
all have the same middle initial,
Isn't that amazing?
isn't it?
But you're the one who mortgaged their house so that we could be here today.
Yes, you're right. We did. Not absolutely with my approval, but the end result was well worth it.
So your wrist is still twisted a little bit? From,
Just a little. But, it's been a really good ride. It was a lot of sleepless nights. And, just praying that this would take off. And it's done more than I ever thought it would do. And the people that we work with, the people that we go see in Vancouver, Washington, are just wonderful people. And it's been a really great ride. Brian's, this was Tom's idea. And because he can't.
Not this.
No, but the business,
Yeah,
in
right.
the beginning was Tom's idea, but he can't work in it because he
Right.
works the United States Customs.
Right.
And Brian has done a fantastic job. Robin has worked from him since just about day one, and You know, and Claude loves it. He absolutely loves it. He's so proud of this.
Well, why not?
Yep, yep. It has come a long way, and you know, and we have great people that work for us too. So it's been
I was going
wonderful.
to ask, and I didn't think to. I thought to, then I got talking about something else. Do you know how many employees they have here?
No, I don't anymore because
They keep
well,
adding.
they add all the time, and of course we live in Florida most of the time now, so we aren't as we're not involved at all. Brian certainly does everything, and he doesn't need his mom and dad telling him what to do. You know, we'd never micromanage. Well, we couldn't anyway because he does a great job. So we are not as involved as what we were at one time. You know, which is good. We're older. It's time that we not be involved.
Yeah.
But yet, you know, you always are, because when you start something this important, something you love, something that has turned into something like this, you always feel involved. You know?
It's your baby.
It is. It is. You know, I have 8 grandbabies, but
This is going to be the biggest.
oh yeah,
Biggest one of the biggest
this is
grandbabies.
wonderful. Yep. And like they said today, you know, it's not done growing.
Oh my gosh, it's a
Yeah.
little scary, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But you know, like when we left Florida, we drove home this year, which we don't usually do. But we also have a new warehouse in North Carolina, so we came by North Carolina and visited it. And one of the men that used to work here now manages that. It was very nice to stop and see him, and he has done a fantastic job. We're very proud of him.
I imagine the crew there was kind of pleased to see the.
They were,
farmers.
and they were so nice to us, and the warehouse was beautiful, and it was everything I expected it to be. So we had a little trouble finding it, but we found it.
Yeah, they take care of the southeast distribution down that way, right?
Yes, they go down more the southern area. Yes. So, but you know, their warehouses. There's one in Chicago, there's one in Denver. They're all across the nation now. So, you know, business has done well. It's nice to go to a place like that and see Country Malt Group sign in front of this big warehouse, and you go, wow, you know, that was part of us. So, yeah, it's very nice.
Okay. Anything else, Bev, that you think?
No,
we should,
thank you, and
talk
I'm
about?
very glad that you're here. Usually I would see you at Ross's Point Village Board meeting, but this is nice.
I'll have to find out. You'll have to tell me the date that Claude asked you about that mortgaging the home. Then, just moments before you went to that Rouse's Point board meeting, because I want to look at that.
I don't think I'm going to tell you.
And we'll zoom in on you.
Okay.
Probably your mind wasn't on the meeting that night.
No, it was more on what I was going to do to my husband when I got home.
Because you were the village. What was your last title, man?
Village clerk. Go by that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it like that.
Your
Yeah.
duties had expanded.
Yes,
You
yes.
were
Yep.
administrator type
Yeah.
of job
Yep.
at one point. So.
And I loved it. I really did. I felt bad when I left, but you have to pick your priorities, and we decided it was time to retire.
Well, why not? Why not spend some time with each
Yeah,
other?
and we love it. Yeah, we just love it in Florida. Of course, you know, this will always be our home, so.
And come back every year.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So it's always good seeing everybody. You too.
Even me.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Bev.
You're welcome.
Bev Bayshard. Okay, not everybody we talk to has to be a Bayshard. We can talk to other people too. What's your name, young fella?
Mark Bro.
And?
Neil Fassett.
All right. Now, I know Neil's picture. Were your picture in the paper too over the weekend, Mark?
Yep, I was standing right next to Neil and Chris.
Okay.
Had a full beard that day though.
Had a full beer?
Yep.
and you sheared it off.
Yep.
Now, Neil, I didn't realize that Fassett Realty also included the construction portion. What's this all about?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the commercial end of the brokerage, and what we've tried to do with the brokerage in whole is to really provide the full scope of real estate services, from residential, from selling houses to leasing apartments, to the commercial end of it with leasing commercial real property, selling real property, and in this case, the development. Although this project is really more geared toward me personally rather than the brokerage, but that's pretty much how the brokerage functions.
Okay. How big is this building?
100,000 square feet.
Exactly?
Yep.
The
200.
expansion.
Yeah, our expansion, the addition we put on.
This part we're in right now?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. It's 200 feet wide and 500 feet long and 45 feet to the peak.
I will. I wouldn't want to be the guy shoveling the snow off that roof there.
We did a few times this winter, actually. We put the roof on in December and January. It was one of the hardest things we've ever had to do.
Okay.
Very, very nerve-wracking. I didn't spend a lot of time up there, but I was scared more than my men were.
How many men you got?
I had 12 men working for me, and I still do it to this date.
With the wind blowing and the temperatures
It was
frigid.
It was hard. We had to pick and choose our days. Probably about 2, maybe 3 days out of the week, we were able to actually work on it. If it was 5-mile-an-hour wind down here, it was 10, 15 up there, and we couldn't have any type of precipitation either.
Make it slippery.
Very, very slippery. Yep.
And that's a lot of roof.
It is a lot of roof. There was 1,000 sheets of steel we put down that were 51 foot long.
And
we spent a long time doing it, and the hardest part was actually the insulation that we put down first to keep it down so that the wind didn't lift it up on us, because the rolls were 6 foot long, or 6 foot wide by 50 foot long.
Well, you can't put insulation too far ahead because
That's it. Yep. And anything that we did that day, we'd have to cover it up immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The first couple days we started out, we did 10 feet, and then we started getting better and faster, and then we had room to work up there too. And by the time we got done, we were putting between 25 to 35 feet down a day. Our best day, I think we did 45 feet, and it was about 10 degrees outside that day. It seemed the colder it was, the faster we worked. And I think it was incentive for us to get off from that roof. But my men did a great job. I can't say enough about them.
So I drove by on Route 11 where the new EMS building is, and I watched those guys. Here you're kind of away from the road here, so very few people probably knew you were even.
Yeah, we're in a nice little secluded spot right here. Until the leaves fall off the trees, then you can start to see our building. Because we're just as tall as the trees were.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Neil, how'd you end up working with Mark here?
Well, Mark and I have known each other for years, close to 20 now, I'd say.
Pretty close.
Mark actually built our house years ago, and he's just continued to do work for us over the years. And when I started talking to Brian about this project, trying to figure out exactly what their needs were from a space standpoint, started kind of put the whole thing together. I needed to obviously figure out how we were going to get the project built on budget, and Mark has always kind of been the right-hand man or partner that I would call him, we put our heads together on it, and this is where it is. A year and it's actually we're probably what week are we on now? We're about
55
weeks into it.
Started.
But for me, it started a lot longer ago than that. It was really when Brian and I first started kind of calculating this. It's been 2.5 years. So it's been a long haul, but a good haul.
Well, I imagine you start once you decide what you're going to do. You start with an architect of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much, Brian pretty much decided what the general shape of the property needed to be, and then, with various engineers and steel companies who bid on the steel package, figuring out really what was the most affordable shape building also to build. So we kind of worked through that whole process.
But you got to know about the weight loads of these.
All of it. Yeah. That all goes into the formula with the design of the concrete floor that we're standing on. We spent hours and hours and hours laboring over, the load calculations based on all the material that you see here. That all gets engineered into it, and the mix for the concrete to the whether or not you're going to have a reinforced slab or whether or not you're going to use dowel baskets, and there was a lot of calculation that went into that, and Mark was for sure involved in that whole process. So every step of the way there was a lot of debate and kicking things around and trying to figure out ultimately what was going to be the best overall process for each component of the building that would ultimately lead to the finished product and ultimately servicing this company the way that they need to be serviced.
Yeah, you need to build it, but you want to be still standing 50 years from now.
It's got to be a quality building. I mean, our strong hope, just because of the nature of the investment that we've made here into this company, is that they're going to be here for a long time. And if they're not, it's going to be a bad outcome for a number of people. Name one of them being me.
So now you're drinking more beer, just a...
I'm a regular craft brew consumer for sure. And I was always a Michelob Ultra guy, so no more of that for me. All craft beers, and it's going to be made from one of these products that's coming out of this facility. So
You're checking where the ingredients come from.
exactly, we're trying to.
Pretty much any craft beer out of Vermont comes through here.
I forget which, it's Fox 44, one of those stations that just does almost a weekly craft beer story.
What's on tap?
Yeah.
Called,
So,
the industry, I mean, it really, and it's been well publicized. I mean, it literally is going that way. And I don't think it's a fad. I think that the consumer now, people that like beer, and there's a lot of them, I just think that they've just gotten tired of the old staple, mainstay, less flavorful products. And there's so many people, as Brian and Claude probably commented on, there's just a lot of people that want to be in the craft beer business, and they can have a small craft brewery for not a lot of money. And it's a fairly high yield business, and they're popping up all over the place. We have two in Plattsburgh that are, one of them is close to being open, and we got another one on the Oval. Actually, it's another, Valcor, and then we got another one just on Ohio, the former fire station building. And we're actually going to be, when I say we, I've got two partners on that building, and we're going to be leasing to a fellow that's going to be opening a brewery called Oval Craft Brewing, Jesse Jolliker, and I know Brian is associated with him as well and has been helping him, with the logistics of getting his operation started. So I think that I would compare it to like the wine industry, where you have wineries and people will go to this winery, have a glass of wine. It's an experience.
Yep.
It's an experience. So it's something that's catching on for sure, and it's growing.
Yeah.
Fast.
20 years ago, the only one I was aware of in the area was probably Jim Murray up at the Comfort Inn area there. And,
Yeah.
When the last time we did a show there, I checked, where'd you get your ingredients from? Right here.
Right here.
Yep.
Yep.
Mark, is this the biggest, I thought all you built was chicken coops. Is this the biggest one you built?
Oh yes, this is the biggest building I've ever built by far. Yeah, I built a lot of more chicken farms, and those were some good-sized projects for me. But this one has definitely blown that right out of the water. Yep, I've been here since the first day we put a shovel in it, and it's been great. It's been great.
Well, you should get the Latchmores down here and say, see, imagine how many chickens you could get in this.
Curtis has been here once to check it out. Yep. And those guys are still working on their projects. They might have something for us to do this year too, we're hoping.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is definitely the biggest one.
Yeah.
But you never know what comes down the road.
The biggest one so far.
Yeah, I remember the day Neil called me up. I was in Lake George at the Americade, and he says, "You interested in building a steel building?" I said, "Well, I haven't built too many steel buildings." And he goes, "Well, I think you can do it." And Neil had a lot of faith in me, and I had some faith in myself too after. But it all went well. Went very well.
Well, your first priority has to be that it's built to specs and it's safe.
Yep.
And we got to worry about the budget.
So we had a lot of engineers that would come around. Atlantic testing came every day as we were lifting up our site with fill. We have pretty close, I think, to 3,000 loads of fill brought in here. There's almost 2,000 just to raise up the site to the level we needed it at. And every 12 inches we had people come in from Atlantic testing, make sure that we were compacting it properly. All this concrete, every load of concrete that came in, there was 2,600 yards of concrete poured in the floor, and every load was tested. So everything has been right up to specs and ensured that it's not going to fall apart.
Yeah, we haven't cut any corners. We've we've built it the way it should be built, and the reason is because we need it to last.
Yeah.
It had to be built right. So.
Yep.
Now, an acre, you know this better than I, is roughly 219 by 219. So what are we talking about? 2.5 acres of cement here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's roughly between 6 to 8 inches thick in areas. Where the flow racks are, we're 8 inches thick over there. Yeah, a lot of cement in here, a lot of material. It's just an amazing to me is how much material is in here as far as the steel and the concrete and the dirts that we brought in.
Okay,
Quite a building.
that's just about full of a product here. How long has it been active?
2 weeks.
Yep, 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks.
Was there a deadline? Did you?
Yeah, we actually probably finished 45 to 60 days behind when we would have liked to have finished. We had flexibility with that just because Country Malt was occupying other facilities, which they had some flexibility on their lease. So it really, there really wasn't a huge impact on it. I think the biggest thing that affected us negatively from the time standpoint is the weather. You know, this is it's a huge structure, and if it's really, really cold or windy, and we had a lot of wind when we got, late fall, and there was just days where these guys just could not work. And the biggest thing that I preached and Mark preached is that we're going to work safe, and we do not want any injuries. I think with the whole project, I think we really only had one injury that I would consider to be a serious injury, and it wasn't even associated to somebody working on the roof.
Yeah.
It was we were clearing trees, and the guy cut his leg with a chainsaw, which was a flesh wound, so it was stitches, which is serious. But that's
Your
the
leg with stitches. It's,
I had
yeah, it's serious. But what could have happened on the roof, working up there when it's too windy, trying to push the envelope, just because you want to get done fast, if somebody falls from 44 feet, there's going to be a fatality. So, yeah, I think we, with Mark's, guidance and oversight, being on site here every day, I think that led to really no major accidents. So.
Yep. I had one fella that did pinch his finger between a purling and the man lift, and he had to go get 2 stitches for it. So that's a really good safety record on a building of this size. Very, very good. All my guys, we practice all the safety codes and everything else. We had safety nets underneath us. Everybody was tied off on the roofs. Wear all your hard hats and your steel-toed boots and everything else. And
safety first. Yeah.
It is.
Well, a project like this, it's not like you're building a house. I mean, we're overseen and regulated by all the OSHA laws, and we're basically by the book on that. It just isn't worth it. It's not worth having somebody, get injured. And for me, and I know Mark too, we would feel responsible for that, and we take that very seriously.
Okay.
That's why I was more scared than they were up on the roof. Everybody wants to go home to their family at the end of the day.
That's right.
And that's what I tell them. But every single one of my guys on this job, they all sweat and froze, and some of them bled a little bit, but we all did the job we needed to do, and everybody went home every night.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen, that you figure out or no? We appreciate you talking with us.
Thank you, Calvin.
All right, thanks, Kyle.
All right, we're talking to Mark Bro and to Neil Fassett, and we might find another person or two to chat with us before we're done here. As I said when I showed up here, we're at just a little off Route 9 on a place called, is it Beeman Drive, is it?
Beeman Way.
Beeman Way.
We had a Beeman Industrial, and they changed it to Beeman Way, but it's an industrial development. The remaining 71 acres left here yet into industrial commercial property, and I built the Beeman Way for Claude when he first wanted some land. I had a 60-foot right-of-way through there and bordering some property I sold, and Claude developed with a small building, and it is to where it is today.
All right.
And I put in the other road on the side. I don't know what they're going to name that one. I'm also starting to build another road at the other end that's going to go
The
across
other end
bottom.
being the Rapid Road?
No, it's going to be on this off Beeman Way, going to go south to the remainder of the property and come back up around. So there'll be lots down there for sale. Yeah.
Okay, we're chatting with Roswell Beeman, who, what made you decide to call it Beeman Way because of your name?
Yeah, that's right. It would have to be that way. I first built the other street that's over in front of the fiber warehouse over there, the GS warehouse and GSC, and then I sold that right away to them. So I built this other right of way here, and I want to remain near the property all the way over to the Rapid Road, which we have a clay pit in there and other developments down there. So that road is very useful.
Okay, so we're here on Route 9, and to our east is the Rapid Road,
Yep.
and this property,
Yep.
as I recall,
Runs
runs all
one
the way
road to
through.
the other, yeah. 200 and...
Who did it belong to before it became
Two
part
different
of the-
farms. This was a part of the Ashline farm and part of the Trombley farm, and
So Morris Ashline on the Rapid
yeah,
Road?
and then it was the Trombley and Trombley over here on this farm, and then it went into I think Leonard Swinton bought it, and then he sold it to a man named Nixon out of Connecticut, and then after I bought it from him.
So
bought
nothing was really being done with it until you got your hands
I
on
developed it, yeah. 1981, 82 I bought it, and then I had it zoned industrial commercial, which was a great help. Yeah. And there's agriculture at the other end, and this end is all industrial commercial, which is it's good property, good investment.
Okay, so they bought this portion from you? They bought?
Yep, this last parcel was 13 acres, I think, they bought from me. And I sold them right out to the road front on this side of this building. On the east side, the building goes right to the road front. I sold them road front right out to here now, yeah. So they have another maybe 4 acres left in front of their parking lot going to the east. And I still own another 10 acres on the south end. That's all the way down to the other area.
So they might be coming back to you again, huh? You're
Possibility. Possibility.
They're not going to be happy till they own it all, Roswell.
That's right. It's there. I'm not
It's
going to
for
need
sale.
it. I'm not. That's
Now,
what
is
it's there for.
Is Beeman Way a private
Private road, yeah.
private,
Yeah.
so that's not a town.
I keep it that way because they have the right of way and we share the maintenance, and it's a little better deal. If you see the trucks that's in and out of here and everything else that comes here and they have to park and wait, you would have no problem, because the only 2 developments on here right now. So they'd have no development problem, and it won't have somebody complaining on it. That's why I say it's a better situation. Plus, the taxes that's coming out of here and over there, and the town don't have to have nothing to do with it. That's a plus in their pocket.
Oh, sure.
And
I'm going to plow the roads. So
yeah, and there's never been a problem. The Malt people hire us to plow, and down there they did their plowing when the other company was there, Gerard's were there, and it's never been a problem. But there's an awful lot of traffic on that road, and it doesn't break up because it was built right. It was built right, and this one over here was built right. So it's a good for development. You see a lot of developments in the south. You see a lot of developments around that are private once you get off. They're an industrial development, and they are private roads after they get out of the town or state roads,
Right.
which they stay that way.
Well, once you get road frontage, your taxes go up, I would think.
Yeah, yep.
Because if it was all
Yep.
road frontage,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
right
assessed a little
too. You
different.
have the assessment, and you got always the chance that somebody's going to complain about something.
Oh,
There's nothing to complain about here because the boys and you've been by. You see sometimes 10 tractor trailers here
Yeah.
waiting to get into the warehouse.
but you hardly even notice them because
Yeah, they're off the highway and
off the road.
highway. There's a 60-foot right of way there. That's all done through the state. And I had a 60-foot right of way over there, all done permitted through the state, and it's all legal and everything done. And I tarred this first road myself. I didn't even ask Claude or any of the other people to put it because they've been good to me. And I put the first section of tar in myself. And did a good job. Yeah, the road, they've tarred their own parking lots. So it's been a good relationship.
Well, it
the
seems like
Malt
it
people
continues to
themselves,
be,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah. So,
Your name was mentioned several times on the course of that little talk there.
Yeah.
So anything else you think we ought to mention while I got you here in front of the camera?
Well, I just appreciate what Claude has did. It's helped me out. It's helped out all of them, and it's been a growing business. And Mr. Fissette's been very good to me, and been very good. It's been a real good business. So, all right, thank you. Yep.
Not every day we do a story where everybody's happy. Thank you, Roswell. We are back up on the second level And we are probably, I'm guessing 60 to 70. How big is this, Mark? This little area here.
This area, this is,
I'm guessing 60, 70 feet.
it's 50 by 100.
It's about 100, so we're almost 100 from that wall back there. So we're looking 400 feet down.
Yep, 400 feet down through.
Now, I was wondering about, we've got a lot of cement here, 2.5 acres of cement, and just down the road a piece.
Yep.
That's our diesel incorporated, and I'm happy to find out that this is all local cement.
Yep, yep.
Our diesel and company.
Yep, Richard supplied us with all of our concrete and complete concrete. Daryl Purrier and Guy Purrier supplied all the labor to do the footers and the walls, and Paul Veliquet, he's from North Hero, he did all the floors for us.
Yeah, so I know in talking to Neil off camera, as much as possible, sometimes you just couldn't do it, but as much as possible you tried to use local
Yes, yep.
people.
Yep.
And
Everybody that I'd worked with in my past experiences, and
Mhm.
it worked out well that way. Very well.
Now, I asked Brian, I don't know if I asked him on camera, so I asked him off camera. He said right now they have about 45 employees here altogether, and they're running 3 shifts out of this spot.
Yep, that's what they tell me too.
So
It's,
they were renting some warehouses in the area now.
yep, they consolidate everything into one, and they don't have to truck between the warehouses anymore. This is saving them a lot of time and fuel.
I can imagine this is going to be a great thing here to know, your product is right here. You haven't got to go a mile or 2 down the road to.
Yep, and it's only 10 miles from my home too, so it made it nice for me. I could check on anything anytime.
So now you're done with it.
We're close. We have 10,000 square feet of refrigeration area to build next in one of the existing buildings, and we have a few more racks to put up, and we're pretty much done. We got our landscaping we're working on now. We're going to start making some topsoil tomorrow, if the weather's permitting. And
Tomorrow's supposed to be good.
yeah, I'm hoping it is.
Wet.
I'm hoping it is, and then we're going to start putting grass seed down, and all of our utilities are all done, and underground drainage is all set. So, and then in about a month and a half, we're going to do the tarmacking of the parking lot and the roads.
Oh, okay. So you do the whole thing, not just build the building.
Well, that'll be done by Plattsburgh Paving.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be doing that, but I'll be
you're
overseeing them.
Yeah,
Yep,
right.
I'll make sure everything goes smoothly for Neil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 500 feet long, and I was thinking, being a baseball fan, I think of everything as 90 feet to first base.
Yep.
400 feet to center field. You could expand this a little wider and make it just a little longer. And Montreal is looking to fill up a stadium. Maybe we could mention your name.
There you go. It'd be nice to have a baseball team back close home.
Well, the mayor is working on it, and I don't think he's just doing it to get publicity. I was up there this spring when they had the Toronto-Cincinnati games, and he was right there on the field.
Yep.
And he seems like he's interested in it, but you could play a lot of different sports in here.
You could put a football field in here easily.
Except for the support, you'd have to
Yeah.
run around them. But
Yep.
size-wise, it's just amazing.
Well, when we were building the building, a couple of the men that work for me, they would come here on Saturdays with their children and let them rollerblade or ride their bicycles in here and kick a soccer ball around a few times. They had a lot of fun in here.
yeah, they're great.
But it was all wide open then too.
Yeah. Did you take pictures along the way for your own records?
Yes, I did. I took a lot of pictures and a lot of good memories here. And just the way we did things, it was very unique. Very unique.
Yeah, because it's a new experience for you, and something you can add to your resume for sure.
Yep. One of my friends was telling me the other day, he goes, "You guys build everything from tree houses to chicken coops." And anything in between. It's good to be diversified. That way we don't get too complacent in one thing or bored with it. We always got a new challenge. One day we might be doing some dirt work, or we could be doing some cabinets in somebody's kitchen. So we stay very diversified. I have a dozen men that work for me, and every one of them has a special talent. And depends upon the jobs, we utilize their talents.
Well, it's a lot of responsibility on your part, trying to keep a dozen guys with something to do.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Some nights it gets a little frustrating. And my wife doesn't always like it, but it pays the bills.
Yeah, well, it's a responsibility, and that's how
It is.
local business operates. You take chances, and you take responsibility, and you just roll up your sleeves and go with it.
Yep. Well, I enjoy it. Every one of the men that work for me is just like my brothers, and we all get along very well, and we work together as a team. And that's the thing. If there's a problem, we work out the problems. We have to work as a team, and we have to work safely and trust each other every day. Our lives are in each other's hands all the time.
Yeah, literally.
Yep. You have to watch each other's back and make sure that they're not going to get hurt.
Yep, you don't cut corners. Safety first, as we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Well, okay, this is I'm going to wrap it up unless there's something really important that we should look at here, Mark, that you want to point out.
About the only thing really is of interest I can see is our flow rack system that we have over there on the right-hand side, where the grain is dropped in on one side and it flows the other side. It's a FIFO system, first in, first out, so that they can rotate their stock. It's a very unique system. I don't think you'll find too many around here of that size.
Okay, let's take a closer look. Okay, this is the area you're talking about. I see some rollers there.
Yes.
So they come in, you roll them in on one side and you take them out on the other. Is that how it works?
Yep. They drop them in on the high side, and they can put 5 pallets deep and 4 pallets high. The racks are 20 foot high. They drop them in and then they roll to their side. It's a FIFO system, first in, first out, and it helps them to rotate their inventory. That way the grain doesn't sit in the back corner for too long. It's always moved fresh. It's something that's very unique to this project here. I haven't seen too many systems like that around here.
Well, it just makes sense. You just you haven't got to worry about how long has that one been sitting there.
That one's been sitting there for 1 week.
No, but I'm saying if you're coming, and you're in a hurry, so you grab the closest one. And off you go, and that one sits there another week.
Yep.
But there's not in this case here, though.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of work to put those together. We have almost 1,100 man hours in putting 3 sets together that are 180 foot long. We've got one more to build after those 2. If you watch, you can see the seller going to drop it in right now.
Yep.
The most important thing is that they come in square.
And there it goes. Now it's not going to knock the other one off on the other end, is it?
No, there's actually 3 sets of wheel brakes in there that'll slow the pallets down as they go, so that they don't build up too much steam and knock the other one off. Pretty neat, isn't it?
It came to a stop.
He showed up just the right time.
That's right. I want to thank him for doing that at that particular time. So I can't imagine how much product they can put in here.
I was told they're going to have room to store over 5,000 skids of grain in this building, in shelving.
Wow.
In shelving. Doesn't include what they have sitting on the floors, but there's over 5,000 skids of grain in here, in shelving.
And most of it's not going to sit here very long.
No,
I assume.
they move it fast.
In and out in a timely manner.
Yeah, they have a really good crew of men that work here, and the ladies in the office, they really sell a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's a constant effort. You can't just have the product. You've got to have customers there to buy it. So.
Yep.
And
they're growing every day. It's just an amazing business.
When Ryan was doing his initial speech there, he said they have 44% of the market. Well, that other 56% is out there, and they want part of your 44, just like you want part of that 56. That's
Exactly.
The other one. So
I
believe they're the largest, though, right?
They are
close to it. Yeah.
Well, there's more than one person in this business, or more than 2. So that 56 is soaked up by other companies.
Right, several.
But they are the largest, I believe.
Yeah, it's amazing success story, as we've said time and time again today.
It is.
Starting in Claude's little shed and
little backyard shed making beer.
Yeah.
Now it's a multi-million-dollar industry.
Yep. And providing 45 jobs locally and a whole lot more around the country.
Yep. Very good jobs too.
Yeah, and not just the jobs we provided you with some work, and
they're supporting a lot of the locals.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we've been at North Country Malt, part of Country Malt, and I forget all the, the
Great
names.
Western Grain Corp.
Yeah, all those names there. So, but locally here we know it as North Country Malt, and
Yep.
it's a proud part of our North Country, and we're glad to have it here, and we're glad that the Bayshards have found such success with all of this. Okay, Mark?
Yep. Thank you, Calvin.
Mark Bro, and continuing to demonstrate for us here. That's amazing. And again, nothing budged. Thanks for watching Hometown Cable TV. We think